Okay, this is the review of what we called Chapter 4, ratios, percents, decimals, percent increase, percent decrease. So I'm going to go through the review guide with you. I already have videos posted in our previous weeks covering all of this material, so if you need more details, please go back and look at my previous videos. But let's get started. I don't like that color. Let's go to blue. All right, number one, find the unit price. Okay, unit means you need a base of 1, and price means you need something about money. So we're talking about the money per 1 unit. So round your answer to the nearest tenth. Now, as a reminder for rounding, 10 has 1 0, so it's going to be 1 decimal place. Okay, we've been rounding all semester. Now, notice right here, they give you a clue as to how they want the answer. Now, I'll be honest, this is kind of confusing right here. It's a little confusing. But if you look right here, they want the cents per ounce. Now, we have to convert $1.43 to cents. How did I know that? Because I looked at the answer, and that's how Hawks wants me to report. So, $1.43 is 143 cents. $2.55 is 255 cents. So that's the first thing I had to do. How did I know to do that? I looked at my answer. Okay, and then they want to compare that per ounce. So this would be 143 per 16 ounces here. And this would be 235 per 32 ounces here. Now they want it in 1 decimal place, excuse me. And so we just put that in our calculator. Let's see. 143 divided by 16. That's going to round to 8.9. Now we're talking about cents. We're not talking about dollars. 8.9 cents per ounce. And then for the following one, 255 divided by 32 is, oh, wow. This is, let me write this down. 7.96875. All right, it says round to the nearest tenth, which would be here. We have to look back, and this is a 6, so it's going to bump this up. So 7.9 is going to bump up to 8.0. 8.0 cents per ounce. And so you just write those on the line. This one is 8.9. And this one is 8.0. So you're getting more bang for your buck with that bigger purchase. It's typically the case. Number 2, write the following ratio as a fraction in lowest terms. Okay, so there's several ways to write a ratio. We can write the word 2 as they did here. We can put a colon like such, or we can write it as a fraction. So 40 divided by 42. Now, it says write the following as a fraction, so this is how they want it. They want a fraction, but they want it in lowest terms. And I'm going to use my calculator because this is something we've talked about a lot, and it's something that I do not want you to leave here without knowing how to do. These are even, so I could divide by 2. I could divide by, let's see, 6. That would give me 20 over 21, I think that's it. But I'm going to use my calculator. I can divide by 2. I know that because they're even. But anyway, let's just practice our calculator. All right, second fraction to decimal for my calculator. And it gives me 20 over 21. Again, all I needed to do was divide by 2, but I want you to be savvy with your calculator. That's very important to me. Number 3, write the following as a unit rate. Okay, this is similar to number 1. It has the word unit. Unit means 1, but we're not talking about money. We're talking about feet and hops. Now, look at your answer for clues as to how to set it up. It wants feet per hop. You cannot give it in any other order. So they want feet per hop. All right, so we just plug in our numbers. There's 66 feet per 33 hops. Okay, now we have to write that as a unit rate. We have to get our denominator to be 1. So you can use your calculator or you can divide by 33. The answer is going to be 2 feet per hop. Again, you can use your calculator. So if you feel wobbly on that, 66 divided by 33, press enter, and it's 2. Number 4. Now, I love this problem. When you take Math 143, you will see this problem again. Actually, all these problems you'll see again, but this is something that people really struggle with. And I like it because we all eat, we all cook, we all like cookies. A serving of 4 homemade baked chocolate chip cookies weighs 50 grams. Okay, so let's look at what we're given. We're talking about 50 grams here and contains 20 grams of fat. Now that's important. Make sure that we're noticing that this one is talking about fat. Okay. I need to get a little bit bigger pen. Okay. Write the ratio in lowest terms. Okay. Order matters. Reading matters. Words matter. So this one says fat grams. Okay, that comes first. So fat grams 2, and then total grams comes last. Now, my students miss this problem a lot because they don't read it carefully, because both things are talking about grams. Okay. Okay. So fat grams, let's see how many fat, see how they've switched the order on you? The fat grams are 20 and the total grams are 50. They've switched the order that they want the answer. That's why you have to read these problems very, very carefully. So fat grams are 20 and total grams are 50. Now, using our rules for divisibility, these are both divisible by 10. Okay, so 10 will go into 20 and 10 will go into 50. That's going to leave us with an answer of 2 to 5. That's our answer. Moving right along. We're up to proportions. This is something that we spend a good bit of time on. How do you solve a proportion? Well, you cross multiply. So you go straight across in this direction, straight across in this direction. And once you do that, the fractions are gone. So let's go. 46 times x is 46x. Then you put an equal to beside that, and the other product goes on the other side. So let's see. 138 times 40. That's 5,520. 5,520. Notice once I cross multiplied, my fractions are gone. Okay, that's important. The opposite of multiplying, right here we're multiplying. The opposite of multiplying by 46 is dividing by 46. How did I know to divide by 46? Well, good question. Because I'm trying to solve for this x right here. And there's only one thing over there with the x, and that is 46. So I'll divide this by 46, and the answer is x equals 120. Now, for the remainder of this chapter, pretty much most problems, you're going to use some variation of that proportion setup right there. Number 6 is an example. An English teacher must read and grade 28 essays. If the teacher takes 15 minutes, okay, let's write this down, 15 minutes to read and grade 2 essays. So these are going to go together because that's how many minutes it takes her to grade the 2 essays. How much time? Now notice on the other side, we have to set up the proportion in the same way. So minutes has to be on the top and essays has to be on the bottom. So how much time will he need? We don't know how much time, so we put an X to grade all 28 essays. Now that is a proportion. Okay? We're going to cross multiply. 2 times x is 2x. Let's see, 15 times 28 is 420. And divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 210 minutes. And they want the answer in terms of minutes. If they wanted it in hours, we'd have to do a conversion, but they specifically ask for minutes. Okay. Moving right along, let's see how much time we have. 7. If 5 cups of flour are needed to make 80 biscuits, okay, let's write this down. 5 cups of flour make 80 biscuits. It's always helpful to put a letter with your numbers so that you know what the other side has to also be. It has to be cups on the top and biscuits on the bottom. How much flour, okay, we don't know how much flour, so we put an X up here, is needed to make 68 biscuits. Okay, now for time's sake, because I only have 15 minutes per video, I'm going to just let you finish this out, but you would cross multiply, and the answers are at the bottom. Let's move on to something different. Number 8, here's where we start talking about percentages. Change the following decimal to a percent. Okay, a couple ways to think about this, but a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. That's one way to think about it. Okay, you can put that in your calculator if you want to, but it's going to be 20%. And then the other way to think about it is basically multiplying by 100 is going to move that decimal 2 places to the right. So we just take the decimal where it is and go 1, 2, and it'll fall right there. And therefore our answer is 20%. Number 9, same type thing. Change the decimal to a percent, okay? We have 2 choices. We can multiply by 100, okay? That's going to be 387.9%. Or we can just take our decimal, which is 3.879, bump this 2 places to the right, and we have 387.9%. Okay. Number 10. Suppose the state license fee is figured by multiplying the cost of your car by 0.049. Change 0.049 to a percent. Write your answer. Okay. All right. I'm going to just do it the short way. I'm going to bump it 2 places, 1, 2. So it'll fall right there between the 4 and the 9. So the answer is 4.9%. Number 11, suppose that, okay, now we're doing the opposite. So now we have a percent and we're going to a decimal. So we do the exact opposite operations. Instead of, let's change to pink. Instead of multiplying by 100, we now divide by 100, okay? So another way is to take this decimal, 9.35%, and instead of moving it to the right 2, we do the opposite, which is move it to the left 2. So we would go 1, 2, there's our decimal, and we have to drop in a 0 to hold our place. Dividing by 100 moves the decimal 2 places to the left. It's got 2 zeros, and that's kind of the impact of those 2 zeros. So we have, doesn't say anything about rounding, so we have 0.0935. Number 12. Change the following fraction to a percent. Write your answer in percent form. Round your answer to the nearest tenth of a percent. Okay, so what we're going to do here, a percent is always out of 100. A percent is out of 100. So what we have to do is divide 1 by 9 and then multiply that by 100. Okay, so 1 divided by 9, that's a third of a third of a third, and a third is 0.33. But anyway, I put it in my calculator. What am I getting? 0.11111 repeating. 111 repeating. You could also put the bar over the 1 Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Now remember, tenth has 1 0, so we're going to go 1 decimal place, and that's going to stay at a 1. So the answer is 0.1%. Oh, sorry, scratch that, okay, sorry, let me go back. That's not the percent. 0.1, and then I have to multiply that by 100. I was like, what is going on here? I have to multiply that by 100. I apologize. I'm sorry. It is actually 6:46 in the morning, and I got up an hour ago. Okay, so we're going to move this 2 places to the right, or multiply it by 100, which is what I should have done. I've got my calculator right here. I should have done times 100. Oh, goodness. Now I'm making calculator mistakes.